pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any items from the public? You're not the public, you're on the agenda.
Yeah, whatever. I do that.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda and the consent agenda from March 23rd, 2026?
So moved.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Wyatt. We are going to appoint our new council person, Scott Pearson. And does council have any questions for Scott or want to talk to him at all?
Okay.
No? Not very popular, I guess.
It's good, maybe no questions, you know.
So we voted on that, right?
Yes.
So do I have a motion from the council to add Scott to council position number 3?
So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Scott. I'm swearing you.
Okay.
Okay, so repeat after me. I, Scott Pearson,
I, Scott Pearson,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I am a citizen of the United States and the state of Washington.
do solemnly swear that I am a citizen of the United States and the state of Washington.
That I am legally qualified to assume the office
That I am legally qualified to assume the office of
of City of South Bend, Council Member 3.
City of South Bend, Council Member 3.
That I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
Support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and the state of Washington.
and the state of Washington.
And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of this office.
Faithfully and
Impartially.
impartially discharge
The
the
duties
duties of this
of this
office
office. To the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so be it.
Welcome.
Welcome. Have a seat.
You-
Yeah, I believe I see. Come up to the dais now.
Sure.
The drawer, yeah.
Very nice. So next, we're gonna have a report from Toni Williams from Willapa Harbor Hospital.
Yeah, you're gonna be seeing me, every couple months or so, just to give a report what's going on. We were criticized, not keeping the public informed about all the goings on at the hospital when we're running the bond issue and stuff, our meetings like yours are all public and stuff, but anyway. So we do have, a new doctor coming in September, Dr. Bolivar. She, the Fisher residency at UW this summer, and she already signed to come down here and work for us. Her husband can work remotely, and then we're looking for a rural area. So she specializes in family care, the whole family. She does women's health, children, the whole, So, and also she's going to be, will be a hospitalist too, which means she'll work in the hospital, which I didn't realize that doctors choose to either just have their practice or to work in the hospital. They can do both, but just because they're doctors, they can be in the hospital up here. So but she wants to, which is a really good thing. So she'll be doing both. The USDA grant that we received for our imaging center that we're hoping to be part of the new hospital, which is going to be postponed for a while now. But we received slightly over $1 million from USDA for new imaging equipment. Well, our CT scanner up there is dying. I mean, there's days it doesn't work. We have to divert, patients and stuff. So we're getting all the imaging equipment stuff with that grant money, which then eventually it can be transferred to a new facility. But we just will need new CT scans. So that's in the process. And then, we had a workshop, last week to discuss, the facilities architectural report and ways to expand service without moving walls, without doing things that would cause our grandfathering clause, all the things that aren't up to code. We don't want to put those in jeopardy. But how can we work around it and, improve it and get more service? Because our goal is to increase service, increase revenue, so we can fund more of the hospital on our own, maybe in 5 years, or, without a bond or a lower bond issue or whatever, because the need to replace the hospital is not changing, it's old, and we need a new one. So we had a workshop to discuss that. We did find out that we have to get a geotech up there because the hillside above the jail, because the jail was built, that hillside was dug out to make room for it, and there's some cracks and things, and so we gotta get a geotech up there and see what's going on. We have plumbing and sewer issues to be fixed as well, but I think they can do some workarounds without having to go into the cement and go underneath and stuff, so. And that's about it, though I would like to see, we have a citizens advisory committee. We had one before the bond issue. We're working forward with a committee again, and they have to keep the public informed what's going on and help make decisions. Anyway, would anyone from the council or from the city be willing to be on the committee or be interested? Our first meeting is gonna be, May 7th at noon.
I think that,
What day of the week is May 7th?
I think a Thursday.
I think it's a
Same
Thursday.
line. I'm going to attend with my Pacific County Immigrant Support hat on
Okay,
to that meeting. It's noon to 1:30
Yeah.
on May 7th. Yeah, Tate asked me to,
okay,
the executive director asked me to do that.
and you could wear, I suppose, 2 hats if you wanted. I mean, that doesn't mean,
I have Thursdays off.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we can all come, can't we?
Absolutely. If you want to, it's just the committee, we're just gonna meet on or so. Just kind of planning purposes or whatever.
What was the date again?
Well, the first one's gonna be May 7th,
No.
noon.
And it's up at the hospital in the
In the board.
side room there.
That's all I have to report.
Where's the new doctor gonna practice out of? Out of the
Willapa.
Willapa
Clinic,
clinic, Dr. Hill's side or the other side?
I'm not sure. That's one thing we're working on is how can we reconfigure things to make room for more doctors and that's part of what we're working on. So I don't know.
It's good news.
But we need more room for more exam rooms and
Women's health will be good and kids.
yeah, I know. That's what we heard, we're out there working on getting a new hospital. People want to see, pediatric doctor here, but there's not enough
Mhm.
business really. Need something more that, somebody that will work on the whole family,
Yeah,
so.
like the good old days.
Like a good old days. Yeah.
Jan, this is Julie Overby online.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, I had a quick question for Toni. Does someone need to be a member or a citizen of South Bend itself to be on the Citizens Advisory Panel? I live in South Bend, but I'm outside of the city limits.
No, it's, well, the hospital district encompasses all of North Pacific County, so the answer is no, you don't have to be a South Bend resident.
Okay, how might I express interest in being on the panel?
Well, I'll take down your name and number. How about that?
That sounds good.
Okay,
So it's Julie Overby,
okay,
Overby.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Yes.
Mhm. Go ahead. Anybody have any questions? Thank you. Okay, here it is. The next thing on the agenda is the memorandum of understanding, which we do every year between Pacific County, the city of Raymond, city of South Bend, and Royal Heights Transfer Station. Are you gonna talk about that, David, or?
No, it's pretty much the standard agreement that we do every year. It's a 2.34% CPI increase.
Right,
And it's the standard agreement between all of us. It's Raymond, the county, and city of South Bend, just with Royal Heights. It needs to be, we need to approve it so we can mail that back to them.
okay, can I get a motion to approve the MOU?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Looks like we are eliminating the HUD Fund 701, which,
The HUD, yeah. That has been a topic of conversation with the auditors. Basically, it's a defunct fund. And I'm suggesting that we just eliminate that fund and allow those funds to be present in the general fund. It's not gonna change a single thing because they are present in the general fund right now. And we have, well, I mean, they're not present in the general fund, they're in a 701 fund. But they're available to use at council approval. So I'm proposing that we just get rid of that fund because it's improperly designated anyway. That came out in the audit. We just get rid of that fund and we designate it as a rainy day fund, but it sits in general funds. It's gonna help us in two ways. Right now, we don't touch it. Right now, it is sitting in the operation account, but we don't touch it because it needs council approval. We just designated a rainy day fund and it sits in the general funds and we don't touch it without council approval. But at the same time, it bolsters our general fund numbers, right? So current expense is bolstered. It should be sitting in current expense. Right now, it's sitting outside of current expense. But if it was sitting inside current expense, it boosts our current expense numbers. It looks good on paper and it doesn't really change anything that we're doing right now.
how much is in there?
139,000, a little bit over and change.
And that money can sit within the general fund as a sub appropriated fund, so you can keep track of it.
I keep track of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be earmarked. And we can just say that earmarked fund, we won't use it unless it's with council approval, and so nothing changes. Except that the fund's gone. The auditors aren't going like, what is this fund? And why is this fund still here? And it looks good in current expense because it boosts our numbers in current expense.
Will it grow?
It will. I mean,
So no additional.
I could move it to, it presently is sitting in operations, but I can move it to LGIP fund, which is easy enough to do, and it will increase. I think LGIP right now is at, well, I have to check it again, but it was right around 4% or a little bit over 4%. We can roll it that way.
Should we do that?
If I could, I'd love to address this issue.
Oh,
Okay. Dee.
Mayor, oh.
I doubt that anybody on the council knows where the HUD fund came from. Am I correct?
You're correct. As far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Back when First Bank was in South Bend, there was HUD loans that the Seafirst Bank used to manage. And the Seafirst Bank decided they didn't want HUD loans anymore. They were on various properties, various houses within the city of South Bend. So they turned over all those HUD loans to the city of South Bend to manage. And then the city of South Bend then collected the HUD money from those houses. They varied for anywhere from 2%. I think the highest one might have been 5% on those HUD loans. And over the years, and it took quite a while, those houses were eventually paid off, but that money had to stay in that HUD fund. And I fought the auditors for a long time, obviously until now, for it to stay in there. And probably because I think the last one I left in 22, the last one was probably paid off in maybe 2020. And we always use that fund as kind of, if we got in hot water somewhere, that HUD fund was a great opportunity for us to borrow from, an interfund loan. And we borrowed from the HUD fund many, many times over the years to pay into water, sewer, garbage back in the day when we needed money. I knew this day was coming that eventually they would say that the HUD fund had to go away because it doesn't have any source of revenue anymore, and it has no expenditures. So it needs to go away. And the most appropriate place it would go into current expense. It could be a separate line item in current expense, HUD fund revenues, and you just need to, to watch it or whatever. But that's always the place it would always go, would be back into current expense. And the same when we closed out the garbage fund, any money that was left over in the garbage fund, we closed out the garbage fund and it went to current expense as well. And we talked about it many times. So there's nothing special about it other than it just hung around for a lot of years. And before I left, we made sure that there was no HUD loans out there that were deferred. Some of them were deferred. And then if any of the owners passed away, then if they had any money outstanding, money came to the city, but we checked on those if there was any deferrals, and there wasn't any left. So if that gives you a little bit of a background.
Didn't we use it?
Thank you.
Didn't Joint Pacific County Housing, didn't the city give them some money for exploration of the Alder House or something? I think we used it.
Yeah, we did. And because there used to be about 200,000 in there. You'd have to go back and look, but I think 210,000. But yeah, we did use some of that money to explore options for Willapa Landing.
Yeah.
So, but you would probably want to make sure that there is no outstanding interfund loans on there that may have been overlooked before you close it out.
Thank you, Mayor Dean.
Sure. I don't get enough council meetings, so I thought I'd come join yours.
We could use you in a few of these for the last 20, 25 years. We're trying to figure things out.
I'm always here for history.
I know, thank you. So we want to move it to it's
I will move that we move the HUD Fund 701 into current expense.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Department head reports. Chief Spiegel.
I don't have anything to report tonight. I'll get you guys my March report as soon as I get it wrapped up. I'm a little bit delayed on getting that, so as soon as I get that done, I'll get that out to you. But
Supervisor Hauk.
I don't have much either. I'd like to welcome Scott aboard. I think he'll be a great addition to the council. I've been working with him for 6 years.
Yeah,
or so.
I forgot to mention you've been on the planning commission.
Yeah,
I worked with him on the
chair of
planning
the planning
commission.
commission.
Yeah.
He's done a wonderful job on there. I think he'll be, like I said, a great addition to the council.
Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard.
Clerk Johnson?
The audit is, I think we're getting close to being done. At the end of April, there should be they set a tentative date of April 24th, but when they confirm that, the council will get a invite to the closing session. There was quite a few things that needed to be looked at and corrected, but we're working on it.
Probably learning a lot too.
Yes.
All right. The mayor's not here and I don't have anything to say, so. Council comments.
Just a follow, when I did my motion, should I have motion that it needs to go into an account that only can be touched with council approval, or is that kind of assumed?
Well, we can, yeah, that probably you need to.
You want to do a new one?
Can we amend that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, just make some statement that fund will be like a rainy day fund and can be touched only with council approval. We can get that. We can make a line item.
Okay.
General.
I think you can just say that the previous HUD fund will be monitored by the clerk treasurer, and any expenditures out of that fund would be, we'll need a supermajority of the council for expenditures.
Okay, we can just state that on record without having to revote.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Dean.
I think the clerk treasurer is savvy enough if he's not going to go out and buy dinner or anything, and you just might note it. You might just note it in the minutes, David, and maybe note it in financials. So.
Okay.
Aside from that,
Okay.
No, but thank you for allowing me to get involved.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Scott. It'll be good to work with you again, and I think you'll be great. Norm?
I would like to also welcome Scott aboard and look forward to working with him in the capacity of the council. Would like to thank Toni for apprising us on matters that are current with the hospital, and thank Mayor D for clarity on the HUD fund situation.
All right. Do we have any future agenda topics? Oh, Wyatt.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Scott. It'd be nice to have you on the council with us. And just kind of mirror what everybody else is saying. Thank the hospital for clarifying a few things of what's going on up there. It's always good to hear from you guys. So that's all I've got.
Thank you. Any future agenda items?
Nope.
Any, I skipped them. Public comments. Are there any comments on what we've done? Anybody want to?
I'll just comment, when I worked for Harbor Community Bank years ago, we collected those HUD loans for the city. Like a classroom test.
I guess we are adjourned. Thank you.